and welcome to the APLL Pulse Podcast, where you can uncover new insights from the logistics and freight forwarding industry through the seasoned experts at APL Logistics, a global supply chain provider. We'll help you keep pace with the current topics impacting businesses and advance your logistics strategy. Hello, everyone. This is April Chapman, your host. And today I have the honor of having two guests. One is Luis Spino. Luis has been with APL Logistics for almost 9 years. He started in Brazil, and then for the last 4, he has been working out of our Hong Kong offices. He is currently in the role of head of automotive in Asia. And secondarily, I also have Rashmin Fernando. He is joining us. He works with Luis, and he is the South Asia lead for automotive in Asia. So today we're going to be talking about APL Logistics and how we're growing in this specific area. But before we do, Luis, I know that you are a transplant to Hong Kong, but you've chosen to stay for a long time. So tell us, what is it that you like about that area?
Hello, April. Thanks for having me. Big fan of the podcast, so I'm really happy to be here. Yes, as you said, I'm from Brazil. I moved to Hong Kong 4 years ago, and it's just an amazing place to be. Big city, but at the same time, you are surrounded by nature and you can do a lot of sports. So I love the city.
That sounds great. Okay, so let's bring Rashmin in here. So, Rashmin, I know that you are based in Sri Lanka and you've been with us for around 2 years. So, can you tell everyone maybe what you enjoy about your role here?
Like Louis said, thank you for having us here. Very excited to be here. So to answer your question, I'm leading the automobile sector for APL Logistics in South Asia. So the best thing that I love is I get to drive all the new vehicles which is coming in. I'm a very big vehicle fan. So all the latest models, the first brand new vehicle of each customer, each model is handled through us, APL Logistics. So I get to see those vehicles, experience it. So it's great. I love it. I go for all the operations when the shipments arrives here. So it's been tremendous. Love the experience.
Should I ask you what your favorite vehicle has been?
I'm always been a German vehicle fan, so it's always going to be BMW.
Ah, yes, yes. That's an easy win right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the reasons I brought you both on here today is to tell the story about some of the unique situations that the auto market has faced in Sri Lanka specifically. So, can one of you take us back to that time frame when there was a lot of unique challenges and set the scene for us?
Sure. So basically, during COVID, Sri Lanka went through a really bad financial crisis. We had a US dollar shortage. So to control this and mitigate it, the government implemented import restrictions. This is not only for vehicles, but for anything very expensive items, they had an import restriction going on. So after 5 years in 2025, gradually they released the import restriction for other cargo, other commodities. But for vehicles, unfortunately, they had to keep it for 5 long years. So in 2025, January, they released the import restrictions. So that's where we came into the play, and then that's where everything started again. So far, we're doing pretty well in the automotive logistics in Sri Lanka now.
Yeah, but I can only imagine that there was a lot of people in line waiting.
Oh yes. Oh yes. There were people dying to buy vehicles, like literally dying. People started paying advance money, reserving the cars like 1.5, 2 years in ahead before the import restriction lifted.
Wow, wow. That supply and demand was really out of balance, huh?
Yes. But I guess the government had to do it because, vehicles are something very expensive. And then if they couldn't do it, I think the country would have got even worse. So I think that's the right thing to do at that moment.
So once this import ban was lifted, what kind of challenges were you seeing?
Yeah, the government had to still have some restrictions in place because otherwise people would pretty much go crazy, bringing all these vehicles in. But right after the import restriction, what happened was Sri Lanka was listed as a financial crisis country. So countries like China, Japan, a few other countries also, there's something called a letter of credit, which is sent through the bank for the importation of the shipment. So our letter of credits in Sri Lanka was not recognized because, every country thought that Sri Lanka is going through a big major financial crisis and we're not going to get away from it. So what happened was people started, large customers, who are doing very well. They have offshore accounts like in Dubai, in Maldives, certain countries, right? They started sending LCs, money for import from China to Sri Lanka. They would send the money from Dubai to China. So this was considered as the cross-border LC. So apparently the government had this rule back in 2010 or 12, if my memory serves correct. There was a rule gazetted saying that cross-border LCs are not accepted for vehicle importation. But no one knew about it because it was a gazette which was done so many years ago, right? So people didn't know about it. They started importing like vehicles by opening up LCs, cross-border LCs. Everything came to Sri Lanka. Thousands and thousands of vehicles got stuck at ports because there was a restriction in place. So this was crazy.
So the whole ports were just filled with cars, parked cars then?
Yeah, I mean, so many cars. I don't know the exact number to be sure, because I don't think the custom really published it anywhere. But there were so many vehicles stuck. So then this is where actually we came into play as well. So the government put up so many documentation, in particular about 15 documents for a shipment. This is just, I mean, including the bill of loading, commercial invoice, packing list, who everyone knows about. But except for this, they put about another 13, 14 documents for each and every shipment. So this is where we came into place. We knew that this was the pain point for our customers. I mean, it's not about finding the space and then putting it on the vessel and bringing it down here. But after that, at destination, if you can't take it out on time, you're going to start paying unwanted expenses like damages, port rent, and the vehicles gets damaged, so on and so forth, right? So this is where we came into play. I managed to put up a team in Sri Lanka with my expertise because I've been in the automotive field since 2012. So I come from a very big automotive experience. So I put everything together. We set up a team to specially take care of this documentation. So we started giving our customers an end-to-end service from warehouse to warehouse, everything in between. We took the burden. We went up to the extent of even checking the customers' banking documents and then giving them our feedbacks whether everything is in place. So we went up to that extent.
So basically, the government typically would have 15 documents, but in this situation, they would have like 30 documents. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Previously, before COVID restrictions were in place, there wasn't that much of restrictions. And then especially a lot of EV, electric vehicles started coming into the market. This was a brand new thing for the government as well. So then, there is no engine, there is a motor, right? So previously, everything was calculated and the duty structure was for engine capacity. Now there's a motor. So government had to put more rules, like more documentation. Okay, you need to show this, you need to show that about the motor. So all these came into place. So that's why we had to step in and then, start helping our customers.
Well, I would say that is what APL Logistics is really known for, is we take these complex problems, what has become very complex, and we come in and help bring solutions to those complex things. Would you agree?
Correct.
And Louise, you want to add something?
Yes, I think this prioritizing customs compliance was very important because there is a specific rule in Sri Lanka that the car must be sold within 90 days after the customs declaration. So you can imagine if we have any problems with the documents, that can really put the dealer's sales at risk.
So not only do they have this 5-year waiting, like watching the clock for 5 years, we're watching the calendar, dun, dun, dun. Now we finally get there and the cars are there and we have a 90-day ticker that has started that all of those 30 documents need to be fully complete before it can then make it to the person who wants to buy it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. And actually, April, to add to that also, like in 2025, last year, everyone, all the customers, the end customers, the buyer has already paid the advance and they're waiting for their vehicle impatiently, right? They're like, when am I getting my vehicle? When am I getting it, right? And then the importer starts pushing us. Where is the vessel? When is it coming here? When are you clearing it, right? So they want the vehicles not today, they wanted it yesterday. So we had to work it, but we were like a ticking bomb. Like each and every shipment was urgent. There was nothing non-urgent. So, I mean, now it's easing a little bit, but previously, like last year, it was chaotic.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like it would be. I mean, not only are you doing paperwork, but you're also like counseling. You're like therapy.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine yourself, right? You don't have a vehicle for the last 5 years, and you'd finally pay an advance. You want it today, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, customers' perspective, it makes sense. So we had to deliver. We had to spend like good 24 hours at one day at one stretch operations in Hambantota port in Sri Lanka because there were so many shipments coming in together. So we had to do what we had to do to win the customers' trust and also to make sure that APL Logistics is going to stick with them no matter what.
That's right. That's good. So, Louise, is there anything else that you can think of how we might have helped? I know that you mentioned doing the paperwork and stuff like that. Is there any other thoughts that you have around it?
Absolutely. So we talked about the importance of compliant import services. And due to all these problems and the thousands of cars stuck at the port, the demand for compliant import services was at an all-time high. So after we ensured the flow of vehicles and customs declarations and documents were in order, the second topic we addressed was how to connect the curious Sri Lankan consumer that wants to try a Chinese vehicle with Chinese car makers. And at the time, we noticed there was a very strong presence of Japanese brands in Sri Lanka. They basically dominate the market. So ocean freight services connecting Japan to Sri Lanka were well established, but there was no connection between China and Colombo or Hambantota port specifically for the vehicle trade. So we focused on developing new RoRo partners.
Ro-ro. Okay. So, what is a ro-ro?
Ro-ro is basically roll on, roll off. So this is different to a container. The vehicles can drive inside the ship, the vessel, and then it can be driven out as well. So this is ro-ro in a nutshell. This ro-ro method is specifically used for carrying vehicles through sea point from point A to point B.
So, kind of like a ferry.
Yes, a very big, a massive ferry. Yes.
Got it. So they roll on, roll off, and that's ro-ro. Okay. All right, Louise, sorry I interrupted you. So continue what you were saying.
No problem at all. So yes, RoRo is just a big ferry boat that can crosses the oceans while the cars are safe and sound. And our number two priority was connecting Chinese car makers with the Sri Lankan consumers. So we basically established a new RoRo service connecting Chinese ports like Shanghai, Qingdao, and Xiamen to Hambantota port, which is a port in the south of Sri Lanka specialized for RoRo shipments.
So now you were bringing in more Chinese vehicles than had been there before. Of course, demand is high. And now people are probably, hey, what kind of cars can I get? We're looking to bring as many cars in as we can. So you were opening up new lanes to get cars from China to Sri Lanka, correct?
Exactly. And I think it's important to mention that the big Chinese brands, they have easy access to those markets. Usually they have their own RoRo ships, for example, but the mid-sized brands or startups, they need our support to reach new markets. So we allow them to reach the Sri Lankan market, offering a new service. And at the same time, we gave the public access to those new brands that everybody was curious about. So it was a win-win situation for both Chinese car makers and the local public.
I love a win-win, right? So is there any benefit past Sri Lanka? Did any of this continue into other places or just to Sri Lanka?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And of course, we have expansion plans, starting with the neighbor countries in South Asia. Rashmin has been working closely with our business development team in Bangladesh, and we have just started shipping cars to Bangladesh as well, both in containers and by RoRo. And of course, we want to keep expanding the product into Southeast Asia and Middle East. As you might know, Middle East is the largest destination for Chinese car exports. And that's an area that we just unlocked. We have planned shipments from China to Saudi Arabia, and we want to keep expanding to the other GCC countries.
That's great. So we expect a lot of growth, though we're looking to grow in those areas.
Absolutely. Finished vehicle logistics is the number one priority for the Asia Automotive team.
Okay. So I know that you mentioned, some other areas, and I know beyond like finished vehicle logistics, I know we do some other things, correct?
Yes, Asia is a very complex region, and we have three sub-regions inside APLL: North, South, and Southeast Asia. So China, Thailand, and India are our focus countries when we talk about automotive. So besides finished vehicle Logistics, we have blended inbound to manufacturing capabilities, and that includes orchestrating the entire inbound flow for both tier suppliers and automotive OEMs. So we can offer solutions like customs brokerage, trucking, and inbound warehousing solutions in Thailand and India as well. Just to give you an idea of our size and experience, in Thailand we have a team with over 60 people focused on automotive customs brokerage to support inbound to manufacturing operations for very large American OEMs.
Can you let our audience know what OEM means?
Sure. OEM stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. And in the automotive industry, that would be the car makers, the brands that you are very familiar with.
Okay. So when you say inbound to manufacturing, so what you're meaning is we are getting the parts and the pieces to the places that are going to be building the vehicles. Is that correct?
Correct. We can support three types of flow that we call inbound to manufacturing. That could be supplier to plant, plant to plant, and plant to OEM or DC. So that's what we call inbound to manufacturing, is the orchestration of the inbound flow, including not just planning, but execution and technology support as well.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'd like to know from probably both of you, like from your perspective, what's changing the most in the global automotive market right now, do you think?
Yeah, I think I can go first. So China. China is the main factor. If you look 10 years ago, China was one of the biggest vehicle importers in the world. And right now, it has become the number one exporter. And that tells us a lot how Asia is molding the future of the automotive and mobility industry and how the Chinese technology developments are key in this whole process.
So, out of curiosity, do we see, because you're saying China is moving their vehicles through Asia, are they in Africa? Are they in Europe yet? I know we don't see them over here in the United States yet, but can you guys speak to that?
Absolutely. So China has been exporting pretty much to every corner of the world, except for those countries which have imposed restrictions, like the US and some countries in Europe. But what they do is they have many different methods to ship their cars and reach their destinations. So they can set up manufacturing plants in China as well as other Asian and European countries to be closer to those markets and also to go around these restrictions. So today, China exports mostly to Middle East, Asia, Latin America, and then Europe and North America as well. I think in that order, if we talk about volumes.
Okay.
And just to add to that, April, I mean, even China has, I mean, they've been doing it for a long time now because China has vehicles left-hand side driving. So when customers want right-hand side driving, what they do is they set up a plant maybe in Indonesia or Malaysia or somewhere else, and then they make that plant produce mostly right-hand side vehicles. And then they start, sending vehicles to like Sri Lanka, India, Australia. Those are all right-hand side driven vehicles. So that's their strategy for, to capture in the other markets as well. But like Louis rightly said, they're all over. Except there's no sanctions or there's restrictions from the country, they're all over.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Rashmeen, I'm going to ask you, as you look ahead, where do you see the biggest opportunities for APL Logistics in automotive?
Yeah, before 2025, I joined in 2024. Ever since I joined, I knew one day import restrictions are going to get lifted up. I need to be ready. So I started working for it, right? So I started building our pipelines and then meeting the customers, doing all that, having the communications going on, because we had to be ready for that. See, now in Sri Lanka particularly, if I will speak about Sri Lanka and then go to the South Asia side as well. Particularly in Sri Lanka, so many vehicles have come. The numbers are so large. I'm talking about thousands, thousands, and thousands. So next is going to be automotive industry is not just limited to a single car. It's not. It's followed up with the spare parts, the after sales service. Everything is coming up with it. So now all these vehicles which came into Sri Lanka needs to be serviced, maintained, right? If accidents occur, the spare parts has to be there. So now in Sri Lanka, what we do is we're looking at the after sales service, like the spare parts side of it, because customers will bring the vehicles for the demand, supply demand, but then after that, vehicles are bound to meet with accidents. It's bound to break down, right?
That's right.
It's a common thing. Like very recently, last year, December, we had a natural disaster. We had a very massive flood. So for that flood, so many vehicles got caught. Pretty much damage. I mean, like about 50, 60% damage. And then it needed spare parts. Now the customers felt it now. oh my God, we need to stock up, we need to have the spare parts. So we are developing solutions now for the customers for the spare parts. Like in China, they don't have one supplier, they have many suppliers. So we're consolidating that, we're bringing it together, we're doing that. So that's what our strategy is for the upcoming years.
Well, that is just going to lead to the problem that you had in the beginning where the people were frustrated because they wanted their cars and now they're going to have them and then they can't get them fixed. Like my daughter's air conditioning broke today and we're in a hot place. So you want to be able to fix those pretty quickly.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, before the customer came to us, we developed this. We told the customers, look here, what about your spare parts? This is what we can offer you. I mean, we are still building new solutions according to the pain points of the customers, but we are already well ahead of the game. So, I mean, in South Asia, though, if we talk about Bangladesh and all these other countries, see, India is a big manufacturer for vehicles itself, but they still have imports as well coming in for certain brands. So we are trying that. Okay, and then like Luis said, we are very big in India as well. Luis can explain further about India sector because he's very closely working with them. So, but in Bangladesh, there wasn't much RoRo operations happening into Bangladesh, not to Pakistan. Okay, but right now, there is an ongoing war. Ongoing or stopped. I mean, not really a big fan of it, but either way, customers are suffering because of that. You wouldn't believe in Hambantota port, there is so many vehicles. I'm talking thousands of vehicles stuck, which came from China, which came from Germany, which came from other countries as a transshipment and to be sent to Gulf, to Jeddah, Dammam, Jebel Ali, all these countries. It's stuck. No one can do anything about it. Now we are helping those customers. We are going to export vehicles which are stuck in the port to like Middle Eastern countries. We're going to select 1 or 2 locations where the vessels can go, like maybe to Oman. From Oman, we will do land transportation. Okay. So we want to help customers when it comes to automotive because every vehicle matters to us. Every customer matters to us. So that's where we are heading in the upcoming future. And that's what we're doing right now.
We are lucky to have you both here at APL Logistics. You're so passionate about what you do. Luis, did you want to add anything?
Yes, I think Rashmin he puts it very well about finished vehicle logistics and our ambitions. And we have other ambitions as well, which is keep supporting our customers in Thailand, India, and China with inbound to manufacturing and production logistics. So there's a lot of room to grow in Asia, and we're very excited about the future.
Well, I thank you both for coming on today and sharing this story and how we were able to help. And it's just always cool to hear all the different things going on in the different parts of the world with our company. So thank you for coming in and for being so passionate about what you guys do.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, April, for having us.
And for everyone else, make sure you follow us and listen to the next APLL Pulse podcast.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like what you heard, or if you have any questions about today's episode, reach out to us at global_marketing@APLLogistics.com. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast apps. You will also find us on LinkedIn or visit us at APLLogistics.com. We'll see you next time on the APLL Pulse Podcast.